Evening, baseball fans. Welcome into the broadcast today. I'm Cameron Ford. I'll be providing you play-by-play coverage of today's matchup in between the Bulldogs of Holmes Community College versus your Pro River Wildcats. Today we're on site here at the campus of Holmes Community College. Your Wildcats look to bounce back after taking two conference losses last week, beginning of the week in Ellisville versus Jones. Step in, already getting into the action here at Holmes Community College. Today's starting pitcher for the Bulldogs will be Chris Piernas, the freshman out of Pass Christian. Leading off for the Wildcats will be redshirt freshman Matt Taylor from Raleigh, Mississippi. Just stepped in and fouled one off for strike one, so count's already 0-1. Now to Taylor. Taylor coming into this game is batting .356. Here's the second pitch. Second pitch is in the dirt outside for ball one, so 1-1. So the count goes even. So I'll give you a couple stats on this Bulldog squad from Holmes. On the season, they have overall record of 18-22, a conference record of 4-20. They won their last ball game on a one-game win streak as of now. Lost at least 5 before that. So they're 11-9 at home on the season. So in the positive column at home are the Bulldogs. Fourth pitch of the at bat is outside, way outside for ball two. So count goes even now, 2-2, as Taylor just fouled one off before that. So here's the pitch, another pitch way outside, part of the plate for ball three. So the count's now full with 3-2. After this first at bat from Taylor, we'll take a look at some of the stats on Piernas so far this season. Taylor digs into the box for the full count pitch. Here it is. Outside again for ball four, so Piernas walks the leadoff batter in Taylor, and the Wildcats have a runner on to begin this ball game. So stepping in after Taylor's sophomore Bryson Medius out of Columbia, Mississippi. Medius stepping in this game. He's batting .336 on the season. Been in a little bit of a slump lately. Check back over to Taylor at first. Had a tough couple games that Jones Medius did. Just couldn't get anything going at the plate. Had a nice game back at home against East Mississippi. The series before that. And Medius drives was deep out to the left. Going to be a foul ball. Just out in foul territory. Looked like it might have a chance to get out of the ballpark, but stayed in and landed out in foul territory right out there in the left field corner. So Medius will step back into the plate after a loud first strike. Looking to improve. Piernas just hung that one over the strike zone. Gave Medius a chance to hit something. So here's the 0-1 pitch from Piernas. Working out of the stretch. Comset. There's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner misses for ball one, so count evens up at 1-1 now. Look at it. As I told you, we look at some of the stats on Piernas on the season. So far, he's got a ERA of 4.60, win-loss record of 0-2. He's had 12 appearances. 3 of those have been starts, so this is his 4th start on the season so far for the Bulldogs, as the stats say. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Falls across the plate for strike two, so 1-2 as Medius watches that one go by. So far on the season, Piernas has given up 32 hits, 21 runs, 16 walks, and has victimized 16 by way of strikeout and been the victim of 4 home runs. Taylor's looking to take first. He throws over to first. Pierno's trying to check back over first. He thought he had Taylor stranded, but Taylor just doesn't check up and head straight for second. He'll take second. Still second. Had a little bit of a early steal from Taylor. Pierno's thought he caught him going, but he'll slide in safely out there at second. We've got a runner in scoring position with no outs. 1-2 count. Medius at the plate. Pierno's taking a long look in. Comstead checks back out at Taylor. Here's the pitch. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. Breaking ball there. Didn't catch the knee, so count evens up at 2-2 to Medius. Taylor, Speedy Taylor out there at second is definitely a threat to score on a base hit if Medius can get one down here. Pierno's going to take a step off, and think this one over a little bit longer is how he'll approach Medius. So there's 2-2 now on the count. Pierno's comes set. Here's the pitch. Medius drives wasn't up the middle. This should be enough for Taylor to come around and score. And as is, he'll cross the plate on the RBI single from Bryson Medius to start off this ball game. The Wildcats strike first early in this one. They jump out a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. So still no outs and a runner now on first for the Wildcats. In steps Derek Eberly. He's a sophomore transfer from Chipola Community College. Been a nice add-on for the Wildcats so far this season. He's batting .340 coming into this ball game. Had several clutch at bats and several clutch hits for the Wildcats so far this season. Holds off on that one for ball 1. 1-0 now the count. Look close to strike zone. The umpire says otherwise. 1-0 now the count. So Medius out there at first. Everly at the plate. Still no outs here in the top of the first. A little light check back over first to Medius. But nothing going as he's able to slide back in safely. But here's the pitch to Everly. It looked like it was on the outside part of the plate, but umpire calls it strike 1, so count evens up at 1-1. Looked like it was in the other's batter box, but the umpire calls it a strike. Everly now has a 1-1 count against him as Piernos checks back over at first once more. Still, Medius able to be safely. Get a little bit at the defensive lineup for the Bulldogs out starting the ball game today. Over there. Oh, excuse me, we'll have to wait on that as Everly drives this one out in the gap. Out towards right center. Medius rounding third, looking to come home to score. They won't have a play as he'll come across the score, and Everly slides in out there at second for an RBI double. So the Wildcats now jump out to a 2-0 lead here in the top of the first, and Coach DuPont will call times and take a trip out of the mound, talk things over with his freshman pitcher to start this one. We'll take this as an opportunity to look over the Holmes Bulldogs, the defensive lineup. We still have no outs here in this inning. Out there in left field is freshman Kendrick Lejeune, number 15 from Iota, Louisiana. In center field for the Bulldogs is sophomore J.D. Roberts from Meridian, Mississippi. Out in right field is Josh Tucker, number 2 from Clinton, Mississippi. Playing third base for the Bulldogs is Brooks Cooper, the freshman from Brandon. Shortstop is Cole Johnson, number 8, out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. Playing second base for the Bulldogs will be Sage Mullins, number 6. And playing first is Paul Green, the freshman from Lenoa, Mississippi. Will be wearing number 5. And behind the plate for the Bulldogs is freshman from Brandon, Mississippi, Matt Warren, number 14. So the lineup's there. And after the quick break and talk over things from Coach DuPont, will be back in play, and that'll bring Mo Landry up to the plate for the Wildcats. Everybody out there at second. 2 runs already come across in this top of the first. So it's 2-0 here. No outs. Landry at the plate for the Wildcats. He's swung and missed at the first pitch he saw. This one's low and outside in the dirt. Got away from Warren just a little bit, but everybody won't take third as he's able to corral it in time. So 1-1 count now to Landry after that pitch. Landry so far this season leads this Wildcat team in home runs and RBIs and batting average as well. So he'll come into this game at 390, batting 391 with 16 home runs and 54 RBIs on his team, and he'll look to add that 55th RBI here with everybody out there in scoring position. He'd love to get a base hit down here. Big swing and a miss for strike 2. So when came across the plate, he couldn't catch up with it. So 1-2 now the count to Landry. Landry so far past 2 ball games at Jones. A little bit of tough. Had a couple base hits for the Wildcats, but struggled as he had a couple strikeouts as well. Piernas will step off and look back at second. Check up on Everly out there. Nothing going for him. This pitch is low and in the dirt for ball 2, so 2-2 now in the count to Mo Landry. Landry, a big part of this Wildcat offense, looking to continue his big role he plays right here. It's a 2-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt, gets away from Warren, so Everly will take third. And the wild pitch from Piernas. So Warren wasn't able to corral that one, and Wildcats now have a runner at third with no outs and a full count now to Mo Landry at the plate. Piernas definitely will want to be careful how he pitches to Landry here. Doesn't want to just try to get one across the plate on Landry as he's liable to get a hold of one. So here's the full count pitch to Landry. Drives this one out, same gap out in right center. Everly will easily come across. Landry's rounding first, looking for a stand-up double. So if it wasn't for the wild pitch, they would have just swapped places. And so Landry out there at second with the RBI double. So Wildcats add to that lead, early leads, 3-0 now here in the top of the first. So that'll bring up right fielder Noah Barron. Barron was an add-on for the Wildcats. We added him on back in the fall. He's from Hoover, Alabama. He's batting .358 on the season coming into this one. Had several big at-bats for the Wildcats. Here's the first pitch to Barron. First pitch is low below the knees for ball 1, so 1-0 down the count. So several big at-bats coming from Barron so far this season. Driven in several important RBIs, or several important runs, excuse me. And he watches that one go by for ball 2, so 2-0 now on the count to sophomore Noah Barron. Piernas struggling a little bit lately, or so far through this one. As the Wildcats seem to have his number. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Barron. He kind of check swings, but comes contact, so Piernas will throw over to first on the dribbler from Barron for the first out of the inning. So they hold Landry out there at second as Piernas checked up before he threw over. Nothing going for him. So Landry will remain out there at second with 1 out. That brings up freshman Wiley Cleveland to the plate. Wiley from Columbia, Mississippi, Columbia Academy product. Had a tough couple games, as did most of these Wildcats last week versus the Bobcats in Ellisville. So he'll look to bounce back and clean up his work at the plate in this one. First pitch to Cleveland is a breaking ball across the plate. He watches it by for strike one. So 0-1 now in the count to Cleveland. So Piernas, here's the 0-1 pitch to Cleveland. Fastball on the outside part of the plate for strike two. So Cleveland watches the first two pitches go by, and he's down and behind. 0-2 now here to Piernas. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Excuse me. Piernas is going to step off the back part of the plate and check back. And Landry out there at second. Landry, not much speed in his legs, but a smart base runner Landry is. He's seemed to come up big for the Wildcats out there on the base paths a couple times so far this season. And Piernas freezes Cleveland with another one right across the plate. Cleveland stepped in and watched 3 pitches go by for 3 strikes. So he set down on strike by way of strikeout for the second out of this game. So Scooter again, the second baseman, will step in, looking to hopefully drive Landry in, not strand him out there with 2 outs. Landry's got a pretty impressive lead out there at second. No one even kind of checking him up. Piernas will step back, and then neither of his middle infielders look like they're even really worried about Landry. But Piernas definitely is. Piernas comes set, check back in Landry, and the shortstop will finally come in and check up on him just a bit. So Scooter again steps into the plate. He's got a 276 batting average so far this season. First pitch is high outside of the zone for ball 1, so 1-0 now in the count to Ginn. Again so far this season's had 87 at bats and 24 hits. And those are bats. So. But he's got a pretty nice RBI total with 16. He'd look to add another one here. He's got Landry out there in scoring position. 2-0 now in the count to Scooter again as that one misses the strike zone for ball 2. Piernas comes set. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Someone catches the outside part of the strike zone for strike 1. So 2-1 now in the count to Scooter again. Like he was just laying off that one. There's Piernas coming set. Just the pitch again. In the dirt. Again held back. It didn't offer at it. So be ball 3. 3-1 now the count. Sophomore Scooter again. Scooter again transferred to Pearl River back before the fall. He's out of Southwest Community College. Went to Columbia High School. Graduated and played for the Southwest Community College team. The Bears out there for a season, and decided to make the move over to Pearl River. He'll be playing with his high school partner Bryson Medius over here. They both were nice additions to this team. And again, we'll watch that pitch go by outside part of the plate for ball 4. So runners at first and second now for the Wildcats, and that brings in freshman catcher Magruder O'Bannon. O'Bannon's a St. Stanislaus product. He'll dig into the plate. Sporting a batting average of 200. So he'll look to improve that batting average here. He'll face Piernas struggling a little bit out there on the mound. He'll look maybe to add a hit to his freshman campaign. Here's the first pitch to O'Bannon. A little bit below the knees, but O'Bannon takes a whiff at it for strike 1. So 0-1 now in the count to Magruder. Piernas out of the stretch, looking in to get a couple signals. Come set, look back and Landry. Here's the pitch. Inside, O'Bannon takes a big hack at it for strike 2. So looking maybe to pull that one out to left field. Just missed it. And he's down behind 0-2 now versus Piernas. The last 0-2 count Piernas had was against Cleveland, and he threw a strike 3. So we'll see how he does against O'Bannon. And O'Bannon swing and a miss at that one for the 3rd strike and the 3rd out of the inning here in the top of the 1st. So, but not before Wildcats can apply any damage as they take an early three-run lead here in the top of the 1st. So the Bulldogs be back, start off the bottom of the 1st, and start their comeback towards the Wildcats. So we'll be back with their lineup. A couple stats on your pitcher today for the Wildcats, freshman Shamar Page. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pro Over Baseball. So we're back here at Holmes Community College. The Wildcats are facing the Bulldogs of Holmes here against a conference matchup. So far on the season, after last week's 2 losses, your Wildcats are 17-5 in the MACJC. They're holding up and anchoring in the number 2 spot in the conference. We'll face Bulldog team struggling just a little bit. They've got a conference record of 4-20 here on the season. So on the mound today is for the Wildcats will be freshman pitcher Shamar Page. He's throwing from the right side. We'll look at a couple stats for him so far this season. So far on the season, he's sporting an ERA of 2.05, win-loss record of 8-1. He's had 10 appearances. Most of those have been starts. All of those have been starts. Actually, he's pitched 48 and 1/3 innings. He's had 31 hits, given up 31 hits throughout those, 15 runs, only walked 17 and struck out 66. So nice freshman stat line so far for pitcher Shamar Page out of Raleigh, Mississippi, and he'll look to continue that nice freshman campaign here against the Bulldogs. Line up for the Bulldogs today. Leading off will be second baseman Sage Mullins, a sophomore from Oxford, Mississippi. He'll step into the plate with a batting average of 328. It's the first pitch from Page is outside, and the other's batter's box for ball 1. So 1-0 now the count to Mullins. In center field, batting second for the Bulldogs will be center fielder J.D. Roberts. Mullins dribbles this one over to third baseman Cleveland, and he handles it for the first out of the inning to Landry. And that won't be Cleveland over there at third base. That's going to be Luke Harper over there at third base. Cleveland will be filling the DH spot today for the Wildcats. So stepping into the plate now, center fielder J.D. Roberts, sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi, batting 386. It's the first pitch from Page. Big swing and a miss from Roberts for strike 1, 0-1. We'll go through the rest of the lineup quickly for the Bulldogs. Batting third, playing shortstop is Cole Johnson. Batting fourth, playing catcher is Matt Warren. Batting fifth, the DH, Jimmy Burse. Batting sixth, playing third base is Brooks Cooper. Batting seventh, playing left field, Kendrick Lejeune. Batting eighth in first base, Paul Green. Batting ninth in right field is Josh Tucker. So right now the plate center fielder J.D. Roberts is that pitch misses for ball 1. So 1-2 now the count to Roberts. So Roberts on the season batting well for the Bulldogs at 386. That pitch will miss outside for ball 2, so count evens up at 2-2 here here for Shamar. Shamar Page has been great so far this season for the Wildcats. The freshman out of Raleigh, Mississippi. He's pitched very well. Been a big part of the pitching rotation for the Wildcats. Roberts fouls this fastball out over the third base dugout to hang in there. So 2-2 remains the count. Step back in. Page will toe up the rubber for the fifth pitch of this at bat. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Catches the outside part of the strike zone for strike three. So with a second out of the inning for the Wildcats. And steps the shortstop, Cole Johnson. He's an out-of-state recruit for the Bulldogs, reigning from Denham Springs, Louisiana. He's a freshman, batting .371 so far this season. He also leads the team in home runs at 4 home runs on the season. So he watches a fastball at the knees for strike one. Gave a little check swing at it, but held up. It was a strike anyway, so it didn't matter. 0-1 down the count to Johnson. So 0-1 pitch. Pitches in the dirt for ball one. So count evens up at 1-1 now on the freshman. Here's the pitch from Page. Breaking ball. Comes right across the plate for strike two. Kind of froze Johnson up. Didn't even want to offer at it. So 1-2 now the count for Page. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball. Johnson fight this one off and pop it up over to third base side. Everly calls off Harper, and he'll make the play for the third out of the inning. And the Bulldogs go quietly in the bottom of the first after a 3-run top of the first from the Wildcats. So the Wildcats are off to a 3-run lead after the first inning. We'll be back for the top of the second. Piernos headed back out of the mound for the Bulldogs. We'll be back here listening to Pro River Baseball. So we're back here for the top of the second. Your Wildcats are facing the Bulldogs of Holmes Community College. And here in Goodman, Mississippi. So here's the first pitch to Luke Harper. He'll lead off the top of the second for the Wildcats. Harper's playing third base today for the Wildcats. He's in and out of the catcher position so far through this season. Today he'll be wearing the number 27. This 17 jersey, and this gray uniforms the Wildcats are wearing won't be available. And he hits the second pitch he sees out to the left center gap for a leadoff double. So nice piece of hitting there from Harper to lead off the top of the second. The Wildcats off to another good start here in the second inning of the ball game. So Harper swung at the second pitch. It was a fastball across the plate, and he hits it out in left center. Looks like they may have a play on him. He'll slide in a second, but his speed will carry him in there safely with a leadoff double. So that brings up the top of the Wildcat lineup, Matt Taylor. He had a single. He reached by way of a walk in the first inning. A leadoff walk from Piernos. The start of the 3-run rally for the Wildcats in the top of the first. A little bit of time's called there, and he'll step back in looking for the first pitch. There it is. He shows bunt, bunts it down. First base line. It's going to be trouble for Piernas, and he can't handle it, so he gets the job done, moves Harper over to third, and gets in there safely at first for a bunt single. It's going to be a tough play for Piernas to make, as he was showing like he was going to bunt down third base line, but he puts it down the first base for a single. So that brings up Bryson Medius with runners in the corners for the Wildcats, and still no outs here in the top of the second. Here's the pitch, Medius. Medius hit a single right back up the middle in his first at bat in this one. So he swings and misses at the first pitch as he sees to go ball behind 0-1 to start off this at bat. He had an RBI single driving in the first run of the ball game, and Matt Taylor, so he came across the score on the single. Here's the pitch to Medius inside and in the dirt for ball one. So count evens up at 1-1 now. So Medius will dig back in, looking to perhaps mimic what he did back in the top of the first and driving in a run for the Wildcats. So check back over to first for Piernas. Nothing going as Taylor's able to trot back in safely. So it was a light little checkup. So Harper on third, Taylor at first. Medius at the plate, 1-1 the count. So Medius. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Piernas. It was inside, fastball inside for ball two. Won't offer at it, so 2-1 now the count to Bryson Medius. As I was saying about Medius earlier, he's went to Columbia High School. His partner Scooter again on this team. Both graduated the same year from Columbia. But they went different ways. So it was like it was hit down the third base line. It's like it was going to be a little trouble for the Wildcats, but plate umpire calls it foul, so runners will reset, go back to their bases. Medius will step back in for the 2-2 pitch, but as I was saying, Medius out of Columbia High School, went to Jones Junior College, was redshirted there, and then decided to transfer over to Pearl River for his redshirt freshman season. So a swing and a miss from Medius for strike two in the first out of the inning. Taylor's taking second on the swing and a miss from Medius, and he slides in safely, and Harper will come across the plate to score for the fourth run on the throw over to second. So the first out of the inning for the Bulldogs, but also give up their first run of this inning so far. So Wildcats now lead at 4-0 with one out, and Taylor out there in scoring position at second. That brings up Derek Everly to the plate. He had an RBI double, driving in Medius to score for the second run of the ball game back in the first. The first pitch misses for ball one. 1-0 now in the count to Everly. Medius couldn't quite get a hold of that breaking ball from Piernas, the strikeout for the first out of the inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Everly. Ball's inside for ball two, so 2-0 now on the count. I want to be careful how they pitch here with 2-0 count to Everly. He'd love to see a fastball across the plate, give him something to drive. Despite how he looks, he's got home run power. He's been a big home run guy. He dribbles this one up back up the middle. Shortstop gets by the shortstop, so Taylor around third coming home. He'll score easily. So Everly picks up his second RBI of the ball game so far with the RBI single here in the top of the second. So that'll give the Wildcats a 5-0 lead here early in the top of the second. Still only one out with Everly at first, and that brings in big power hitting first baseman Mo Landry. Landry hit a double out in right center. Drive Eberly in back in the top of the first. Here's the first pitch of Landry. Ball outside. Eberly was kind of out there, no man's land. Catcher Warren looked like he was going to check down to first, but he holds up and Eberly slides back in safely. So Piernas out of the stretch, comes set, looking over there at Eberly. Landry drives this one between third base and shortstop. Shortstop can't handle it, so Landry will be in safely at first for a one-out infield single. So that brings in the right fielder, Noah Barron. Barron offered up a check swing last at bat, and pitch caught a piece of the bat and rolled back to the pitcher's mound for the first out of the top of the first last inning. So he'll look to fare better here in his second at bat than this one, as he's got a runner in scoring position. Still only one out. Piernas comes set. Here's the first pitch. Barron watches this one. It looks below the knees, but plate umpire calls it a strike. So 0-1 now the count's at Noah Barron. He'll step back into the box here, looking to get something down, get these runners moving around, set things up for Wiley Cleveland at least. Piernas steps off, checks back out there at Eberly at second, but nothing going. So we'll reset here for the 0-1 pitch from Piernas. He said in the stretch, come set, look back at Eberly. Once more, here's the 0-1 pitch. Ball's in the dirt for ball one. 1-1 now the count on Barron. Like it, I might have a chance to get away from Warren there, but he handles it and holds Eberly at second. Barron shows bunt out there. Pulls back, but it doesn't matter. It was a strike anyway, apparently. So 1-2 now the count. That pitch was another's left-handed batter's box, looked like to me. Doesn't matter what I see. It's umpire's opinion. It counts, and 1-2 now the count on Barron. Piernas comes set, check back at Eberly. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Barron holds back on that one. It's breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Misses. 2-2 now. The count as it evens up on Barron. Barron struggling a little bit at the plate as of late. Love to jump back to a good start here. With now a full count and runners on. Only one out, so he'd love to get something down out there in the outfield grass to have an opportunity to score Eberly. So a full count to Barron here with one out. Eberly at first and Eberly at second and Landry at first. Here's the 3-2 count. Here's 3-2 pitch. He drives this one out towards right center. It's like it's going to fall, and it does. So Eberly around third, coming home to score. Right fielder has a little trouble with it, so Landry was going to round third to score, but he's going to have a little bit of a slip up and fall rounding third. So they'll have to hold off. Now leads only 6 instead of 7. Landry had an opportunity to score, but couldn't maintain his balance rounding third there. He may be shaken up a little bit, so he's going to have to step off and walk this one off. So after the base hit from Barron, he'll move over to second from the little bobble the right fielder had. So there'll be 2 runners in scoring position for freshman Wiley Cleveland. Landry at third and Barron at second. Landry looks a little shaken up from the funny turn he had, but with a little bit of a limp, he'll step back in and take his lead. So his first pitch to Cleveland. Breaking ball, doesn't quite break enough to catch the strike zone. So 1-0 now in the count on Cleveland. Cleveland love to put one down here. He's got an opportunity to drive one. He hits this one straight to third baseman. Third baseman handles it. Third throw over to first base is in time. So I'll have the second out of the inning as Cleveland grounds out. He struck out back in the top of the first, but he'll be retired by way of ground out here in the top of the second. So Scooter again will step in. An opportunity to score two here with Landry at third and Barron at second. Barron's got enough speed to score on a base hit out there at second. Scooter again would love to get one down in the outfield grass. He shows bunt, but he's fouls it back as he couldn't get the bunt down. So maybe looking to surprise his Bulldog defense up just a little bit, but couldn't execute the surprise well enough. So he now falls behind here 0-1 after the failed bunt attempt. There's the 0-1 pitch. It's again. It lays off a ball in the other's batter's box. It's even up the count now, 1-1. There's the 1-1 pitch. Again, breaking ball came in close to the strike zone, but doesn't catch it. So 2-1 now in the count on sophomore Scooter again. It's the pitch to Scooter. He drives this one to second base, then get it quite hold enough up at second base. Has a little trouble with it. And again, will be in there safely at first. And Landry came across the score on the play, and then Barron will score the close play. First baseman threw it in to the catcher. Bang, bang play, but Barron comes across the plate safely for the 8th run. The Wildcats, and the 5th run to come across and here in the top of the second. So a costly little 2-out bobble there from the second baseman, Sage Mullins. He's a sophomore out there holding down the second base spot. Costs the Bulldogs 2 runs here in the top of the second. Wildcats sure will take them. So Gen's out at first now. Brings up catcher Magruder O'Bannon. He struck out to end the top of the first back in his last at bat. Been struggling at the plate a little bit lately. He'd love to get something going here. So he watched the first pitch go by for a ball. 1-0 now in the count. Swing at a ball high and outside. So 1-1 now the count on O'Bannon. So again out there at first. He's got the speed to make something happen. Here, excuse me, the first pitch O'Bannon saw was a strike, so counts 0-2 versus O'Bannon, so he's way behind here and started off this second at bat. Pitch gets is an outside part of the plate, but not close enough. That's ball 1-2 now in the count. So the catcher O'Bannon. It's a 1-2 pitch. It's inside. Umpire rings him up on a pitch. Looked questionable. So third strike, and O'Bannon will end the inning again by way of strikeout for the Wildcats. But nonetheless, they get 5 runs across here in the top of the second. They lead this one 8-0. So Shamar Page will head back out of the mound, looking to hang another 0 here in the top of the second. Still a lot of baseball left to play in this one. We'll be back. You're listening to Pro Over Baseball. So we're back here in Goodman, Mississippi on campus of Holmes Community College. Your Wildcats are facing off the Bulldogs. Holmes PRCC we're here for the bottom of the second. Your Wildcats lead this one 8-0. Freshman Shamar Page out of the mound today for the Wildcats. At the plate is Bulldog catcher Matt Warren. He hits this one out in foul territory out in left field. Medius wasn't able to range over enough to catch that one, so it'll fall down for strike one. 0-1 now in the count on Warren as we get the top of the second underway here in Goodman. So Matt Warren, freshman out of Brandon, Mississippi, comes into this one batting .402 on the season. Second on the team in batting average, just behind, I suppose, his friend Brooks Cooper, another freshman from Brandon, who's batting just 2 digits away from him at .404. But he leads the team in RBIs at 33. He watches a couple by. He's now behind 1 and 2 now versus Page. There's the 1-2 pitch from Page out of the windup. He'll step off and take a breath here. It's a 1-2 pitch to Warren. Fastball on the outside part of the plate misses. Evens up the count at 2-2 now. Warren, one of the highlights in the Bulldogs lineup so far this season. He's hitting decently, or hitting well. Breaking ball kind of gets him on his toes, but he's able to hold off for ball 3. So count runs full here at Warren. Start off the bottom of the second. He drives this one out towards right field for a base hit right over the second baseman Ginn's head for the first hit of the ball game for the Bulldogs. So nice piece of hitting there by Warren as he runs the count full and then gets the job done with a base hit right over second baseman's head. And that'll bring up the DH Jimmy Burse. He's a freshman from Jackson, Mississippi. He's batting .316 coming into this ball game. So the Bulldogs have a runner on first and Matt Warren. The DH Burse at the plate. See how Page handles this one. Here's the first pitch. Fastball outside. Gets away from O'Bannon. Thought maybe Warren would take second on that one, but Warren doesn't even make a move at second. Kind of taps his chest, saying, "That's on me. That's my bad." So a little bit of confusion there from base runner Matt Warren. And a break for the Wildcats. Counts now 1-0. Burst at the plate. It's a 1-0 pitch from Page. Fastball low. Burst doesn't offer at it. So 2-0 now. The count's a Burst. Page is going to have to be careful. He pitches here. The freshman Jimmy Burse. Warren out there at second. Got a little bit of speed behind him. He's a speedy catcher from Brandon so far on the season. He's got 10 stolen bases. Only been caught stealing once. So they'll have to be careful as they got a little speed on the base pass, and Page falls behind here 3-0. So DH Jimmy Burse and pitching coach Anthony Izio will call times and take a trip out there to the mound, talk things over with his starter. Probably not happy as the way Page came out here to start the bottom of the second. He'll talk things over with his catcher and pitcher and make sure they've got everything under control. And O'Bannon will trot back to his position behind the plate. And Page will step back onto the mound, toe up the rubber for the 3-0 pitch to Jimmy Burse. Umpire readies up, gets everything together. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball right across the plate for strike one. Burse wasn't even thinking about offering at it. So he'd love to reach by way of walk here. Not have to face Page. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Page. Swing and a miss from Burse, so Page catches right back up. 2 quick strikes. And the count's now full 3-2 to Burst. Warren out there at first, maybe looking to go on this one. Burst will call times the last second. Page throws anyway, strike across the plate. But it'll be no pitch. Burst call times beforehand. So a full count to Jimmy Burst here with no outs. And Warren on first. See how Page handles it. Here's the pitch. Hits out to second. Double play opportunity. Throws over to Eberle for one. Over to Landry for the second. So just like that, Wildcats catch back up. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Nice double play turn there. 4-6-3 double play by the Wildcats. A nice scoop from Ginn. So here's the first pitch to Brooks Cooper from Page as he's working quickly here. Cooper's already behind 0-1. Here's the second pitch. That one's in the dirt outside for ball 1. 1-1 down the count to Brooks Cooper. He's a freshman, another freshman out of Brandon, Mississippi. His co-partner just got thrown out there at second. Brooks leads the team in batting average, batting .404 on the season. A little bit of check swing, checks down out of there to the field umpire. Field umpire says he didn't go, so 2-1 now on the count to Cooper. Swing and fouls this one straight back for strike 2s. So the count evens up at 2-2 here for Page. So Page would love to get out of this one easily after allowing the leadoff runner on. Then down 3-0 in the count to Burst. But that ball will run this count full. 3-2 now. The third full count here in this inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Page. Swing and a miss from Brooks Cooper will end the inning here, and Page gets out of it. A little bit of scary start here for the bottom of the second for Page, but he's able to bounce back easily. And the Bulldogs go down the bottom of the second without much of a fight. We'll be back for the top of the third. Looks like a new pitcher heading out to the mound for the Bulldogs. Be number 27, Colby Ellenberg. We'll be back with some stats on him. You're listening to Pearl River Baseball. So we're back here in Goodman, Mississippi for the top of the third. Here in this matchup, your Wildcats are facing off the Bulldogs of Holmes Community College. Colby Ellenberg will step out on the mound and take things over for the Bulldogs as Coach DuPont makes a decision for Chris Piernas to end his day in just 2. He gave up 8 runs to the Wildcats, 8 hits through 2 innings of work, and that'll open up the day for Colby Ellenberg. 27, he'd be pitching from the right side. So far this season, he's sporting an ERA of 15.75, win-loss record of 0-1. This is his 6th appearance of the season. So far, he's pitched 4 innings, giving up 17 hits, 17 runs, 2 walks, only 4 strikeouts, and giving up 2 home runs. So Luke Harp will step in for the Wildcats to lead off this inning. Here's the first pitch from Ellenberg. Fastball across the plate for strike 1. 0-1 now the count to the freshman Harper. Colby Ellenberg on the pitcher for the Bulldogs. He's a freshman from Philadelphia, Mississippi, so not too far from home. He also plays a little bit of catcher for the Bulldogs so far this season. This pitch is driven out right over second base. So Harper, after a 1-2 count, will drive that pitch for a base hit. So he's on again. It was the second hit of the ball game. He hit a double back to lead off the top of the second. And he's in with a lead-off single here in the top of the third, and that'll bring up the top of the Wildcat lineup, center fielder Matt Taylor. Taylor walked and then hit a single. Walks in the top of the first and then hit a single back in the top of the second. This is his third at bat here in the top of the third as he watches a breaking ball at the knees for strike one. 0-1 out of the count on Taylor. Matt Taylor, big part of the Wildcat team so far this season. Didn't seem that way last year as he was just a redshirt freshman for the Wildcats. Didn't get any playing time, redshirted. Wanted to give him time to grow a little bit. So he came to the Wildcat team fresh out of Raleigh, Mississippi. Needed a little bit. Coaches talked it over, thought he made it a little bit more time to develop his skills, develop a little strength, and he did that, exactly that, and came back and has been a big contributor to this Wildcat offense and defense so far here in this 2018 campaign. A 1-1 now on the count to Taylor. Here's the pitch. Little slider misses the strike zone for ball two. 2-1 now on the count. He was looking to catch that outside edge but couldn't do so. So Harper out there at first after his leadoff single. Taylor at the plate. 2-1 count on him. Still no outs here in the top of the second. Swing and a miss from Taylor, but this one gets through. Excuse me. Umpire says he caught a piece of it. So Harper was going on that one, but he'll have to return back to first after the foul tip by Taylor. So the count's even now at 2-2. He steps back in here for the fifth pitch of this at bat. 2-2 pitch. Ball outside. This one gets by the catcher Warren, so Harper will take second easily on that one. Sort of around second, looking at third, and this one throw back to the pitcher gets away from him. But third baseman there will be there to back him up. Third baseman Cole Johnson there. Make a nice play. Shortstop Cole Johnson will make a nice little backup play to save the advancement from Harper. So a full count pitch now after the wild pitch. Ellenberg will step off the back of the mound. Think this one over just a little bit. There he is, steps back in, toes off the rubber, looks in for the signal, comes set out of the stretch. A look back at Harper. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Taylor. High and outside of the zone for ball four. So Taylor reaches first by way of walk for the second time in this ball game. Now he's just 1 for 1, but has already scored 2 runs for the Wildcats. So Bryson Medius will step to the plate. He struck out in his last at bat. He hit a single back in the top of the first and then later scored a run, but struck out at the top of the second. Breaking ball inside. Medius kind of turned a little bit, but not in enough to get a piece of him. So 1-0 now in the count to Bryson Medius. A pitch driven out to left field. Looks like it's going to be playable for left fielder. It hits straight to him. So that ball is pieced up by Bryson Medius, but straight to the left fielder, Kendrick Lejeune, for the easy first out of the inning. And that'll bring in shortstop Derek Eberly here with 1 out and 2 men on. Taylor at first and Harper at second. A little bit of not much luck there for Bryson Medius as he hit that well, but straight to the glove of the left fielder. There's the first pitch to Eberly from Ellenberg. Breaking ball, catches the strike zone at the knees for strike one. So Eberly watches that one go by. 0-1 now the count on him. So with 8 runs, Wildcats love to drive 2 more in here. Pitch right across the plate, maybe a bit high, but across the plate for strike 2. So everybody's watched 2 go by and 2 strikes at that. So he's behind 0-2 here to start off his at bat versus Ellenberg. 0-2 now the count, 1 out, 2 men on. Here's the pitch. That one was outside. The ball 1, so a little bit of a waste pitch there from Ellenberg, trying to get Everly chase something, but he wasn't having it. So 1-2 now the count to Everly. There's the 1-2 pitch. Driven out in the gap, right past the third baseman's outstretched glove. Harper around third, heading for home. Taylor trying to get in at third. He slides in. Umpire calls him safe. So with a base hit from Everly, Harper will come around to score from second, and Taylor will go to first to third on the hit out to left field. So a nice show of speed there from Matt Taylor, and Everly will move over to second on the throw from Lejeune. And the Wildcats will have 2 runners in scoring position, bringing up their RBI leader, Mo Landry, to the plate. He's already got 2 on the day so far. Love to pick up 2 more right here, as they're 2 important ones. They'd increase that Wildcat lead to 10 runs. Wasn't in the ball game here. We're just still early. But if Page can continue his work out on the mound and in the ball game eventually. So a big swing, and Landry fouls this one straight back for strike 1. Count evens up at 1-1 now. Well, a big opportunity from Landry, it seems. In that clean-up spot, he's going to have a lot of those, and this is exactly the way Wildcats draw up. That's why they draw their lineup this way. Landry in with 2 RBI opportunity. That was in the dirt for ball 2. 2-1 now the count. Landry leads the team in RBIs, as I said earlier. He leads the team with 54. And I guess after today, he'd have 56, so he'd love to pick up 58 here. Pitch way outside for ball 3. Wasn't even close. 3-1 now the count to Landry, and they may just be careful how they pitch to him. They don't want to give up those 2 runs. They may rather face Noah Barron, who's on deck, and just put Landry on the open base out there. Here we'll just still 1 out. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Ellenberg. Breaking ball outside, so they didn't even give Landry anything to hit. Still take first by way of walk, and that'll bring up right fielder Noah Barron. Barron was out after a little check swing dribbler back in the top of the first, and had a base hit at the top of the second. So he'll step back in here with the bases loaded and only 1 out. See how Barron handles. It's a great opportunity. First pitch, a nice spot from Ellenberg as he catches the outside corner. Fastball for strike 1. 0-1 now in the count on Barron. Driven out. Looks like it's going to get hit a little fisted popper over to the second baseman. Second baseman makes the play and then tries to throw over to second to get Taylor sliding back in. To get Everly sliding back in. And that throw gets away from the shortstop. And on that, a little bit of a throwing error, Taylor comes across the score. So the Wildcats pick up their 9th run of the ball game on a throwing error from second baseman Sage Mullins. And all runners will advance. So Landry's out there at second. Everly at third. Taylor came across the score. So 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs here as Wiley Cleveland steps to the plate. Big spot here for Cleveland. First pitch, he sees the breaking ball outside, gets away from catcher Warren, and Everly will easily come across the score for the 10th run. Landry moves over to third on the wild pitch. So a runner at third now. Here with 2 outs. Cleveland at the plate, and Coach DePine will call times and head out to the mound, talk things over with Ellenberg. He'll bring his whole team in, actually, for a little team powwow. So after a lot of action, bases were loaded. Barron hit a little fisted pop-up to the second baseman, Sage Mullins. Sage Mullins makes the play and then throws back to second to try to get Taylor, catch Taylor sliding back in to double him up. But Taylor's in there safely, and the shortstop bobbled the throw. And on that, to try to get Everly sliding back into second. And on the throw, shortstop Cole Johnson bobbles it. And Taylor will come in from third to score, and all runners would advance, bringing in Landry over to second, and then Everly at third, and then a wild pitch from Ellenberg will bring Everly in to score, and Landry over to third. So there's Landry's at third now with 2 outs, and Cleveland's at the plate with a 1-0 count on them, and the Bulldogs will elect to bring in a new pitcher as Ellenberg came in and gave up 3 runs here in the top of the third, off to a rough start, and this one's not over yet. So they're going to bring in, let's take a look here at number 17, Dane Bevel. Bevel will look at a couple of the stats on him so far this season. He'll be pitching from the right side. Be pitching out of the right side. Bevel is a freshman from Grenada, Mississippi. Well, look, his ERA so far this season, he's got an ERA of 7.16. With a win-loss record of 1-0. He's had 10 appearances, only 1 start. This will be his 11th appearance. Has thrown 16 and 1/3 innings. Had given up 22 hits in those innings, 17 runs. Only walked 7 of those innings. Struck out 16. Only given up 3 home runs. He's faced 62 batters. So the stat line on Bevel, other than that ERA, not looking too bad so far. So he steps in, sort of a tough spot. Does have 2 outs, but a runner at third in scoring position. And the DH Wiley Cleveland at the plate with a 1-0 count. He'll inherit that 1-0 count and the runner over at third. So the book's not quite closed on Ellenberg, as Bevel inherits a little bit of his work. But we'll see how he steps up and handles it. Umpire looks like he gets ready as Bevel's good and warmed up here and ready to face Cleveland. So 1-0 count. And Landry at third with 2 outs. We'll see how Bevel handles. He's working out of the stretch. Combs said, look over at Landry at third. He delivers. High fastball was swung on and missed by Cleveland. A big swing there from Cleveland. Looking to hit the first thing he saw from Devil. Breaking ball came inside. Late call from the umpire, but he calls it a strike. So 1-2 now in the count on Cleveland. So Bevel comes in and throws 2 straight strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low and in the dirt for ball 2. He's up at 2-2 now. So 2-2, 2 outs. And number 22 at the plate. Got a lot of 2s out there. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball inside, sort of gets away from Warren a little bit, but not enough for Landry to come home. So the count will run full. Here, Landry remaining out there at third here with 2 outs. Looking to get something, put something in play. Perhaps get something down out there in the outfield grass. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Bevel. Swung on, hit straight down the third base line. Hit off the bag, and the umpire calls it foul. So that was going to be really close. Umpire looked a little scared to call that one, as that was a close play. Looks like it ramped off the bag a little bit. But nonetheless, after the scary foul ball from Cleveland, count remains full. 2 outs. Landry still out there at third. He'll step in for the 6th pitch of this at bat. It's a 3-2 pitch from Bevel. Low and at the knees, called, third strike on Wiley Cleveland. So this will be his 2nd strikeout of the ball game, and it'll end the top of the 3rd, but not before the Wildcats can get 3 runs across, increasing their lead to 10 runs. Shamar Page will head back out of the mound to continue things for your Wildcat defense as we head into the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be back. You're listening to Pro River Baseball. So we're back here for the top of the 3rd as your Pro River Wildcats are facing off the Bulldogs of Holmes Community College here in Goodman, Mississippi. The Wildcats lead this one 11 runs to none here early in the bottom of the 3rd. Stepping in to lead off will be the left fielder, number 15, Kendrick Lejeune, as he swings and fouls this one back over the third base dugout for strike one. 0-1 now the count to Lejeune. Shamar Page still on the mound so far at the Wildcats. He's only allowed 1 hit so far through 2 innings of play. And that's been the only base runner for the Bulldogs so far. Back in the bottom of the 2nd when Matt Warren had a base hit right over second baseman Gint's head. Well, so Lejeune swings and misses at the 2nd pitch. Here's 0-2. 3rd pitch is a strike on the inside part of the plate. So Lejeune set down by way of strikeout here to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Paul Green. Green's a freshman from Lenoa, Mississippi. He's batting .276, stepping into the plate to begin his first at bat here in this one. The first pitch from Page, swung on and dribbled back, straight back to Page. Page will throw over to first on time for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs there from Page. And that'll bring up right fielder Josh Tucker. Tucker not too far away from home. He's a sophomore from Clinton, Mississippi. He's batting .222 coming into this one. He's the ninth Bulldog lineup. As so far the Bulldogs have gone down in order through 3, other than Warren's base hit. But Warren was doubled up on a ground ball, hit again from Jimmy Burse. So it evened back up, and Bulldogs are still hitting in order. This will be the 9th hitter at the plate so far in this one for the Bulldogs. So after a couple of pitches, Page is behind 2-1. So the 9th spot hitter, Josh Tucker. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Driven out towards right field, pops way up. Should be an easy play for right fielder Noah Barron. He finds our way under it, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So quickly go down the Bulldogs. Page still pitching well. And we'll head to the top of the 4th. Your Wildcats lead this one 11 runs to none. Looks like Dane Bevel will head back out of the mound to continue things for the Bulldogs. Back and see how he fares as he came in and closed things up pretty well back in the top of the 3rd. Bulldogs need them. We'll be back. You're listening to Pro Over Baseball.